gray screen paint mixes, why you shouldn't buy them, why they're a mistake, and also two, if you're going to go down that road, how you can make them for free. Well, not for free, cheaper than $107. All right, so hold on for a minute. Let me put some stuff down real quick. All right, so first things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. We're going to be doing some demonstrations on the new technology, our new black technology, which is called our Black Phantom. Well, actually, final Black Phantom. This is the 21 ambient light rejection technology. The screen pulls one of the highest white levels, some of the brightest colors of any black screen paint we ever developed. So we're going to be doing a lot of demonstrations today, showing you why you want to stay away from gray screen paints. And if you're going to use them anyway, how you can make them, that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And they'll do the same thing as all the other gray screen paints out there on the market. All right, so first things first, the product we have up here, actually we need more than one, but we'll use this one for right now. This is a product called the Metallica Mix 2.0. The screen that's being displayed is a Black Phantom. The screen has the ability to pull one of the highest white levels with really bright colors. And as you can see with all the window light, that the Metallica Mix is just not has the ability to be able to pick up that red level yet. Just to show you how amazing the white levels are, we have it over here on display, showing the screen's black on black technology versus one black surface versus another black surface, displaying white levels to show you how high the white levels are on the technology. As I said before, our demonstrations are unmatched. So in the next couple of weeks and months, we're going to have some products down here. We're going to be doing some very interesting demonstrations. I'm going to show you why these products are outdated, why you shouldn't waste your time, and why you do not paint these things with your projection screens, because at the end of the day, you will ruin your screen. Now, the screen I have here is an Elite screen. They call them edgeless. They're about $400 or $500. Not a very cheap screen, especially when it's being white. Can you imagine if I had this entire screen painted with that screen paint? This is what I'll be getting. And as I said before that, when I watch these demonstrations, usually this particular individual, named by the name of Crow 1176, what he'll do is he'll sit right up on top of the screen. Now, anytime anybody's doing a demonstration, whether it be him or anybody else, you're not supposed to sit that close to the screen. I'm sitting 18 feet from my screen. My projector is right there. My living room from here to here is approximately 18 feet. So you should be able to see the difference in between one product over another at 18 feet, at 13 feet, at 16 feet. But if you have to be literally right up on top of the screen to see the difference, well, guess what? At 18 feet, you won't be able to tell the difference between this or that at the end of the day. So we're going to show you a lot of the demonstrations that they fake. We're going to go back with the screen paints we're going to be purchasing over the next couple of months. We're going to go back and redo the demonstrations and show you how they're supposed to be done and how they shouldn't be done to begin with. That the demonstrations are being done, as I say, cutting corners as much as possible. All right, so let's see if I can find my fire stick. Keep in mind, look at the environment. Plenty of light pushing here and here. I'm going to show you my curtains up close. So I like to use the veneer curtains. I like to have plenty of light pushing through, plenty of light coming through here and here. I don't like to have my area nice and dark. I can't stand a dark area. It drives me crazy. I like to have lots of light in here. And one of the things you'll notice that if you look at my corners, they're not dark, nice and bright, plenty of light pushing back and forth. So this is the reason why when you're dealing with these screen paints, one of the things you'll notice that you'll get a kind of tannish kind of look to the screen. That's the screen having a problem being able to accept color and contrast. You'll see that in movies and demonstrations, especially in contrast levels. You'll get that funny kind of tannish, kind of washed out edge around the corners because the screen's having an issue picking up. Most likely the image will pick up a little better in the center. That's basically about it. Find our remote control. It's right over there. There we go. Blue screen. And keep in mind, my projector in the demonstration is 5,000 lumens. It's a 5,000 Christie projector. As I said before, if the screen paint won't pick up on 5,000 lumens, it's not going to pick up on anything at all whatsoever. Starfield screensaver. Most important thing when it comes to any form of theater setup is contrast. Contrast is everything. Contrast is involved in everything. And gray screen paint products don't have the capability to pick it up, even though when they constantly lie or cancel out when it comes time to back it up. Probably get a commercial in there. Now you see how that screen is blending in? See how the white levels are picking up? Here we go. Now, see the difference when we do a starfield demonstration or demonstration? We make sure there's plenty of light coming in, nothing's in the dark, because like I said, at the end of the day, you're supposed to do contrast demonstrations in fully lit environments. Outer space screensaver. Let's go with this one over here. That's the first sign you're having a contrast issue. Now, keep in mind, if you can't pick up the contrast, they may advise you to go out and buy a very expensive projector that has a very high contrast ratio setting. My projector behind me has a 4,000 to 1. That's it. Now we're going to be doing some demonstrations outside. We're going to be doing some demonstrations. We can't take too many sample sheets outside, but we're going to be taking quite a few screen paint mixes outside to show you exactly at the end of the day, these products work just like white projection screens. They still have the same flaws, just a little bit of a bump. That's basically about it. But at the end of the day, when it comes to our products, you don't have to worry about them canceling out. Because unlike other people, I can back my products 100%. See, there you go. Cancel out. So imagine if I had the screen at a painted with that screen paint right there, what I would be picking up right now. Panasonic 4K. Let's see. Panasonic 4K. We can get what we want from here, or if she's being very stubborn today. Anyone who's light demonstrations are going to pick up. I'm going to go right to the good parts. I like to do that contrast change from one to the next. Now you see how our screen right here picks up an amazing color while this one washes completely out. I like to do that whole shift from brightness to darkness. All right. So there's our screen picking up its white levels. Now the one thing I like about the final does everything. It does contrast, it does white levels, it has amazing colors. The problem with gray screen paint mixes, they have limits. They can only go to a certain degree. Oh, perfect timing. So in order for this screen to operate, the mix, it's going to have to be in a dark environment. It has to be. There's no way in the world it can pull up in a fully lit environment. And if you were to use it outside, well, you'll see that today, what happens. Now we have two screens outside we're going to be doing a demonstration on. One is going to be a 135-inch Black Phoenix. The other one is going to be a Phantom. We're going to put one screen paint on one screen, one on the other, and do two projectors back to back outside. Now, like I said, at the end of the day, people don't want to spend a lot of money for a projector. People are using overpriced projectors in their demonstrations. It clearly shows you at the end of the day that they rely on the projector to do all the work. And if you don't have the same projector or equal, or better, or one projector that's better or equal, you can't pick up the same image. Also, to consider the fact that if you watched in the demonstration, and I hate to say it with the customer, I'm curious, how come the screen didn't look the same way as it did in his video as it did in the customer's video? You know why? The projector. Same screen paint. People don't think about that. I told you that. If you don't have the same projector equal, you can't pick up the same image. Now, all the projectors I use in my demonstrations are pretty much cheap. Anybody can afford them. Pretty much, you can get a projector better than anything I have in here. So at the end of the day, that's the reason why I don't use high-end projectors. Because when we displayed the customer who was showing off, Hector, thank you so much, the demonstrations he was showing up on our screen paint, see how amazing his images look? Because we don't use overpowered, high-powered projectors to make our screens look incredible, make them look fantastic. And if you notice that the customer who displayed that video that was washed out, he did not have the same image as the person who sold him the screen paint. Because the person who sold him the screen paint was using a very expensive projector, where the other person was not using the other expensive projector. And that's why we don't use those projectors, because they basically, what's the word for it? They kind of bend the truth on what screens can do. We're going to talk about that. We're going to do it back and forth and talk about that today also too. Somebody picked that up in one of our forum sites. We're talking back and forth. He said, I saw the video. How come it doesn't look the same way in his video? I said, because of the projector. He's using a high-end projector to make the screen look good. I told you at the end of the day, if you don't have the same projector or better, you can't pick up the same image.
Luxurious.
And that's what people fail to not see. And I've been telling you that for the longest time. I told you that when I went down to when Circuit City was big. And I went down to one of their booths to see the screen innovation screen. I sat down and I was looking at the whole display, that whole movie theater display, and everything was lit up real nice and everything. And I'm looking at the screen, it looks amazing. But I'm asking the guy over and over again, what you got in the back? Because I'm curious what kind of projector you're using. And that projector in the back, if I even bought the same screen, there's no way in the world I was going to be able to get the same image that that projector was pushing off in the back. If that was the case, you wouldn't really have to spend the money for a $4,000 or $5,000 projector. You can just go out and get a regular projector and it'll do the exact same thing if that was the case, but it's not. In order for you to get that same image, you're going to have that same projector better. No calibration in the world is going to be able to give you a projector that's 8K and you got a 720p or 1080p. You can't calibrate to reach an 8K. It's not going to happen. So that's why when you saw the demonstration with the customer, it was not displaying the exact same picture quality as in his demonstration. There you go. Something to think about. Now we're going to do a little video on that alone today. These are going to be dedicated videos, including some things when we're talking about the Phantom technology. And as I told you before, next couple of months, we're going to be doing some interesting testing. We're going to be doing a demonstration. We're going to take all these products, put them against the Phantom, and see how they do inside and outside certified projection screens. And to see the lighting we have in this environment, this is what, to this particular individual, you're going to have to deal with. This is what we do with our screens all the time. No small little screens, because I've seen the cookie cutter screens. We don't do small little screens over here when we do these setups. These are on the big screens. So this paint has already been applied to a 92-inch, 106, 135, 126. Let's go over to LG Beta Fish. Like I said, at the end of the day, our product doesn't cancel out. You can maintain contrast levels in fully lit environments without a problem, without calibrating your projector, without spending money for expensive projectors, and without turning your living room into a cave. And as you can see in my demonstrations, we don't have any of the lights blocked off, none of the windows or anything, to give the appearance that we're in a well-lit environment. Let's go with Panasonic 4K contrast demonstration. This is how you do it. Now, keep in mind, I saw the demonstration, and the demonstration, it was done in the dark, as always. Again, I told you, they do not do demonstrations with contrast levels in fully lit environments. Our technology is designed to display in fully lit environments. No gray screen can do that because they would have an issue in there, as you're watching right now. Go back there for a minute. See? Even in a fake demonstration, your lights are supposed to be on fully when you do a demonstration against a black screen. Black screens are designed to absorb tons of ambient light, which means they can maintain images in fully lit environments without a problem. Gray screens don't have that capability. So in order for someone to try to cheat on a demonstration that they actually faked, they would have to put the screen in a dark environment. But like I said, at the end of the day, the reason why we get the cancels on our end is because when we do demonstrations, we don't do demonstrations on a normal level. And that's why people would rather cancel or ignore when it comes time to doing a demonstration against our technology. Look at that. The problem you have to worry about when it comes to these gray screen paint mixes is they're used to being in their own environment, which means they're used to ambient light controlled environments, overpriced high powered projectors, caliber projectors, anything to try to make the screen look good. But in our environments are completely different. There is no calibration over here. There is no ambient light controlled environments. Your screens will be subjected to the most brutal punishments we could possibly think of because we demand the best for our screens. And this is the reason why when it comes time for testing, others cancel out. Black on black demonstration right there. That screen's producing that white level that high. Now, if that was a gray screen that had to do that, it'd be the opposite. They would have to have two black screens on each side, of course, and they would have to do a contrast level. This is what makes our black technology superior. As you can see, no dark environments, no block windows, no shades, none of that nonsense. So this is why I feel 100% that these untested screen paints are outdated and they're old. And like I said, if the screen was doing the exact same thing I said, if it wasn't for the projector, he wouldn't be able to pull the images he's pulling out. Because if it was a difference, then the customer's demonstration would have looked exactly like the ones in his demonstration. Now think about it. At the end of the day, do you think he would have his products come down here? No. Look at the environment. How much light we pull in on these screens. We wouldn't survive. Star-filled screensaver. Cancel. Star-filled screensaver. Sometimes you gotta ask her twice, but sometimes she still doesn't listen. Oh, I know what I want. It's a particular demonstration I do want. Let's go over to So for the individual who made this product, this is just a little peek of what's going to go on in the next couple of weeks and months when we start buying your products and we start loading them up and getting them ready for testing. There'll be no calibrated projectors, there'll be no 4K up here, none of that. No ambient light controlled environments, none of that. You will go through the exact same testing as our products go through every day. Anytime someone's going to sit there and say that we're better, they're better than us, you have to be to back it up. You can't call yourself the best unless you prove it. And you can't cancel out in this one. Now, until we get the other ones down here, we still have 3 of them down here we can do some testing off of against the Phantom. We're going to be doing some outside demonstrations today. We're also going to be doing some demonstrations on the motorized projection screen, the Phoenix versus the UV. Ah, that was nice, wasn't it? Now let's go back over here to our other Phantom technology, which is displaying its white levels. Now, as I said before, if you're going to go down the road, because like I said, and dealing with one of these products, I don't know why you would, but if you are, let me give you a little piece of advice. If you're going to make the product, again, I gave you some secrets yesterday on how to make some very interesting screen paint products that are going to be much cheaper than you spending $107 for a dull mix. That's going to come up dull on the screen. It's not going to produce the images right. What you want to do is, and I'm going to say this one time, well, actually, I'm going to say it a few times. What you want to do is, as I said before, in the demonstration we saw with that individual with the Metallica mix, which we have right here, that was made with black and white paint. As I told you before, see how dull the image looks on here? Nice and dull. That's because basically the Bear 1050, whether it be the 1050, what do you call that stuff right there? Silver screen. I don't know why they call it silver screen, because it's not silver. It's actually kind of a real dull gray. But anyway, the silver screen or the Bear 1050 white, you want to skip that. You don't want to put that in there, because what that's going to do, it's going to cloud your image. It's going to make it dull. Now, I'm telling you this because at the end of the day, it takes no food off onto my table. Because, like I said, we used to make this stuff back in the day. It has its limitations. I know how far you can go with it, and you're not going to be able to reach where we're at right now. It's not going to happen. But at least at the end of the day, if you do decide you want to go down that road, you can do it for a little cheaper. You can get a higher performance screen, better color. Trust me. So, like I said, stay away from the Bear 1050. Stay away from the silver screen. Don't bother with that. Silver screen's not silver at all. It's a light gray. That's all it is. What you want to do is you want to start your base with a PPJ. That's a silver. You can get that over at Home Depot for around $49 or $50 a gallon if they raise the price on it. Keep in mind it is going to be a bit thin. So you may want to add a little flour to thicken it up, or a little starch or whatever. Check that out if you don't think I know what I'm talking about. I know artists, they paint, they put a little flour sometimes, and they're oil based. They put a little starch in it to thicken it up a little bit. So you can do that to thicken it up, or you can buy a thickener. You can buy that over on Amazon, whatever, to thicken it up a little bit. Now you start off with the silver base. That's what you want to start off with, and then you add the toner, which is any kind of flat black. Do not go with a gloss because you don't want it to hot spot. And one important thing. Don't drop silver into it, and don't drop gold into it. Drop gold into it, you're going to have this freckled Christmas tree going across your screen. I know, because like I said, we've done all this stuff already before. But I'm giving the ingredients to one of the screen paints we used to make under Digital One Crystal screen paint. And that right there alone would pretty much topple whatever he's making. At the end of the day, I told you, when it comes to screen paint products, the gray ones, how they're developed is basically they're all the same base. Either it's Bear 1050 or basically the silver screen. That's where they all start off at. The black is just a toner. That's all it is. The more black you put in, the darker it gets. The less you put in, the lighter it gets. That's all it is. Back and forth, back and forth. That's all it is. And then what they do is some people will drop a little glitter. Some people drop a little silver. The silver you will never see. The glitter you will see. That silver will be overclouded by the two paints that are already in there, which is the white and the black. You won't see it. So that's why I said you start the base off with a silver and then you add the black in. Now, keep in mind, here's the tricky part. If you add too much black into it and you try to make one of these, then at the end of the day, your white levels are going to suffer and your screen's going to come up extremely dark, much like the UV mix did next to a black Phoenix. If you put too less dark into it, then it means that your contrast and color is going to fail, like the screen paint just did a few minutes ago on the screen behind us. Just going to have to find that. Even if you do find that perfect little area right in there, at the end of the day, you won't see contrast and you still won't see color. It'll be a lot better than what you're buying from him, but you still won't be to get that that we get. We're just trying to give you get a little bit of a help if you're going down that road. Because every so once in a while, I'll get a customer that'll come in and maybe he can't afford our products. And I'll give him a little help and say, hey, look, if you want to do it this way, this is how you do it, so and so and so. And this will help you out with what you're trying to do. Because you shouldn't spend $107 for a product that's outdated. Because we've been making since 7 years ago. Shouldn't be paying for it. Literally should not be paying for it. Not $107 should be paying for it. So that's why I told you just how you make it. If you want to make an upgrade version of it, that's what you do. Because it's all made the same way. Just like I showed you the fellow in the YouTube video where he was showing you how to make the product, and I showed you the ingredients in the bottom, it's all made the same way. It's nothing different. If there was anything different about it, and that's why they used the high-end projectors to show you that, oh, it has better color, it has better contrast off my screen. Well, if that was the case, then the customer who displayed Hotel Transylvania would have gotten the same image regardless of whatever projector he was using. That tells you at the end of the day, if those images don't look the same, that projector was doing all the work in the demonstration. There you go. All right, I'm going to take these off right now because we're done here. Even in one of our sites we was at, well, when I shut off on Facebook from time to time, I'll get people that'll come in and go, nah, that's virtually impossible. Your black screen can't be pulling a white level that high. The material you're using is gray. And then we'll pull it off and go, that looks like gray to you? Oh, okay, I thought so. Now, just in case, if you forget what I told you, I'll write the ingredients at the bottom. Or, like I said, at the end of the day, you can just continue to keep on paying for something that literally you can make a gallon of it. And if that's the case, then guess what? I got a bridge in Brooklyn you can have for as low as $3,000 a month. And I won't even charge you for the first security deposit. Now, we're at 5,000 lumens, 1920 by 1200. We are now at 4,000 at 720p. We're using my Christie LW401. Price tag for this projector, $270. Uncalibrated, so set in the factory settings. Discontinued in 2014. Yeah, 2014. Screen paint's doing the same thing here. I told you, you're not going to pick up on 5,000. You're not going to pick up on anything. So when the product gets here, we'll show you that, and we still have it here, some of the stuff here right now. We have all of it here. We'll show you that no matter what shade or color or whatever blend or whatever you mix back and forth, it's all going to react the same way. There's no difference in it, no special abilities. At the end of the day, we could duplicate it, make it better. At the end of the day, it's just black and white paint. It only changes by how much black you put into it. That's it. If there was anything special about it, then you would have saw in any of the demonstrations. Now keep in mind, if anyone had a gray screen with the capability to be able to pull a contrast level equal to a black screen, you would see those demonstrations plastered all over YouTube, because it's unheard of. It'd be on ABS forums everywhere. How come we don't see those demonstrations? Because it doesn't exist. Now, as I said before, the reason why we believe that the Frankenstein didn't do the demonstration, number one, we had the UV over here. The UV is actually darker than the Frankenstein. Much darker than the Frankenstein. Actually, it's one of the darkest screen paints I've ever seen him make. And a Phoenix is black. Phoenix is actually blacker than the UV mix. But the Phoenix can pull a higher white level than the UV mix. And the UV mix can't maintain the contrast level of a black screen because it's not black, it's actually dark gray. So how is it possible that the Frankenstein, being lighter than the UV mix, was able to blend into Black Phoenix? Second, if your product works, you never cancel out. Any one of these companies, I have confidence in my product 100%. If any of them wanted to challenge me, I welcome them with no problem whatsoever. I know what my technology is capable of doing. So if I'm going to brag about a certain company about being able to take them out, if they gave me the opportunity, I'm going to take it. You don't cancel out on something that you already beat. There you go. So we're going to put all this to rest. We're going to buy every single screen paint, all of them. Every last one of them are going to go against that screen right there, the darkest screen that we have in our arsenal. And at the end, I will show you why you don't spend the money for great screen paints, why they're old, why they're outdated. And at the end of the day, you can just make it yourself. It'll do the exact same thing, just like my mix. Watch the color level pick up. Now you're just going to wash that again. Wash that again. See how it's not picking up anything? The white levels are way too high on the screen paint. There's no contrast in it. That's why I said contrast is everything. We got to do this one for freaking Facebook. We definitely got to do this one for Facebook Live. This is called an ambient light test. This is what this test is. So it's basically when you have your screen in a fully lit environment, how much it's going to fade. If you can pick up color at all. I'll go back and show you the demonstration here. Test. Pick up. That's what it's an ambient light color test. So it's designed so when you're in a fully lit environment, how fast are your colors going to wash out and fade? Can you still maintain your colors in a fully lit environment? We're at 4,000 lumens on a projector right now. Like I said, the white levels will pick up, as I showed you in the demonstration. Every time we do these demonstrations, I show white levels first. When the white levels pick up too high, that tells you right there that the screen is going to have a difficult time picking up color and contrast. See? This is why I show you these pattern tests to begin with. Color 1. Color 1. That's why you're told when you use these particular screen paints to calibrate your projector, to use it in an ambient light controlled environment because the screen can't pick up. See the colors that are being displayed here compared to the customer's screen that he displayed in his demonstration? Colors never came up that bright. they actually maintain right around that area right here. Now I'm thinking about basically setting up another account with ABS Forums so we can take these videos over there and have them analyze them and see what their opinion is going to be. This video right here. There's all the colors popping up at the same time. So what makes this technology so unique is the fact that black screens aren't supposed to have the ability to be able to see color or white light. Next to a screen that's gray. Now, remember I told you the theory about how people, when they do demonstrations trying to show off their screens, can basically produce all these beautiful colors. They'll mix all the colors together, and that way you can't tell where it begins and where it ends. So as the wheel is spinning around, it looks like the colors are really good on the gray screen. But if you do them separately, well, this is what you get. This is why we break it down and do them separately. So instead of you seeing a bunch of colors being camouflaged across the screen, you see one color. And that way you can see the difference between what's going to show and what's not going to show. And that's why when they do the demonstrations, they do the camouflage of colors, because it's hard to tell where it ends and where it begins. You can't see the screen wash out too well. This is what you're going to be going through, buddy boy. These are the tests we're going to put you through. And the Cinemax, because he brags so much about that having such high contrast levels, you will go side by side with the Phantom. Contrast levels only. In that video, I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I need to broadcast in a couple of places for that. And I got a couple of buddies offline that are going to be broadcasting that for me. Because like I said, you made the statement. These are statements that you made. We're going to debunk. We're going to go back and watch your own videos where you made these demonstrations in contrast, and we're going to redo your videos. Because we're going to put them in fully lit environments to see if the screens can maintain the exact same contrast level you displayed in your videos. That color level is actually remarkable. There we go. We'll go back to our color. See? I pull up red. See, it does the same thing. Let's go to real quick. Black contrast test.
It's hard to relax if you have to DIY. Grab life by the Groupon.
So the first test we're going to do the white levels. We can always have fun with. This screen is designed to generate high white levels. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do contrast first, because those are the accusations that the individual made about his screens having the ability to pull contrast levels equal to black screens. So that's what we're going to do. Contrast levels inside and outside. Because these screens are designed to pull images, contrast levels outside without a problem. So we're going to do those first. And after that, we're going to switch over to color to see how well the screens pick up color next to the darker screens. And then we're going to see how they compare to certified tests, as in certified projection screens, projector swap outs, which we're going to be going from 1,000 lumens, 3,000 lumens, 3,800 lumens, 4,000 lumens, 5,000 lumens, and so forth. And then we'll do the, my personal favorite, 13 feet at 1,000 lumens. We still have to test the white levels, especially when to get some darker ones in there. The darkest one we have is the UV. So whatever's next to the UV that's darker than the next one, we'll put that in the category of white level test against the Phoenix. Because these are how the tests are supposed to be. I mean, if this displeases you and you feel it bothers you, then hey, at the end of the day, it's your dime. My customers get the best. And it should be tested. If a person is afraid to have their product tested, then there's something wrong there. Contrast level just failed, just right there. There's something really wrong if you can't pass our test. Well, how can it be? There's a contrast test right there. Let's go to this one. Now, as I said before, waste of time when it comes to gray stream paints. Can't pick up anything at all. Contrast levels are not picking up. And there's another contrast demonstration I'm doing. These are really heavy contrast demonstrations. They can't pick up color. They can pick up white levels. But they can't pick up color and they can't pick up contrast. Now, as I said before, I don't like to do anyone's product without displaying labels. I'm going to pause this right here for a minute. I'm also going to get some other screen paint to show you that they all do the same thing. All right, so So, in this demonstration, we have the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, which is on this cardboard right here. Now, this is pretty easy to make. Digital One Crystal Screen Paint is made with bare silver screen, bare 1050, or they put actually one or the other. And like I said, they use black as a toner. This one, they put a little silver, sometimes a little silver, little some glitter. That's what they'll do with it. Put the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint product here. This right here is the personal mix right here. As you can see, it's much lighter than the rest of them. And it doesn't make a difference if you make them lighter. It doesn't make a difference if you make them lighter, if you, whatever shade you make them, they still have that flaw. We have another one too. Now we had a screen paint for a minute. This is a screen paint we made back in the day. It was called Ice 2.0 HD. Very light mix. It was actually made by using less black paint. So same thing as before. Either you're going to put in more black paint or less, depending on how you're going to get your tones to come up. So we'll put that one right here. These are the different colors we made on the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. Like I said, less or more black paint. This right here on this surface is just strictly PPJ. This is just silver paint on here, nothing special, no black added into it. And this is the reason why I tell you that when you're making the paint, that you want to make sure that you use your base to be silver. Now, I'm just telling you this because, like I said, if you're going to go down the road of making this stuff, buying this stuff, as I said before, it's an old, outdated product. It should never be sold to begin with. This is what happens when you make the base out of a dull paint, right there, and you put a little black into it, and this is what happens when you make the base out of silver. See the difference between the two? The silver is going to pull a higher color. It's going to be better. It's going to give you a richer image. This is how they make the product. So, like I said, you start off with a bare silver screen. You start off with a 1050. You're going to have a dull paint, a dull image. You start off with your base with being silver. It's going to be a lot more shinier. It's going to give you a bunch more better color pop than you're going to get from the other screen. Much better, much better. But this one right here is just pure silver. There's no black in it whatsoever. Now, the reason why this one was made because there was a fellow who came on YouTube talking about screen paint products, and that you can basically do the exact same thing with PPJ. Actually, that's not true. The problem you're going to have with this is it's going to pull a nice white level, but the colors are still going to fade, and it's not going to be able to pull the contrast level. All right, so out of our collection, we have here, and this is why I'm explaining to you why you don't want to go near these great screen paint products. We have our digital and crystal screen paint, pot paint we made about 7 years ago from our company. We have the HD, I think 2.9. That was the crystal ice, whatever right there. That was less black paint, and probably 1 teaspoon of black paint into a white screen paint. This right here is the digital and crystal screen paint. We made, for this was the first one we actually made from the door. From there, same thing. We used bare 1050. I didn't know about silver screen at the time, but we used bare 1050 with black paint, a little bit of Martha Stewart, that was a silver Metallica, and some glitter, whether it be gold or maybe it be silver. That's how we made it back then. That is Crow's product right here. We have the Metallica mix, and over here we have the personal mix. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you right here. This is why I tell you that, again, why you want to go with a silver base instead of going with the dull paint. This is the dull paint. This is the silver base. See the difference between the two? That's why I told you, go with the silver base and mix black into this. If you mix black into this, you're going to get a dull image. That's what's going to come out of it. No pop, nothing at all, period. I'm showing you how we made our screen paint back in the day. That's why I told you start with a silver base. This is going to be your base right here. All you do is add your black into it to tone it, to make it darker. See the difference between the two? This is going to pull off a much better image than this. The difference is this has a little black into it. This has nothing. This is PPJ right here. Just showing you. It's up to you. At the end of the day, I really don't care. Now, we take these two products right here. This right here is the Crow's Metallica Mix 2.0. This is Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. This one's made a little darker because when we made the Digital Crystal Screen Paint, it had a little bit more black into it than the black and white mixture we have here. But they both do some of the same thing. Look how close they are. Now, this one over here is made with bare 1050, as I said before. Martha Stewart, but they don't make Martha Stewart anymore. It was just silver, that's all. But you can add PPJ or you can add in M&M. It's up to you which one you want to do. And gold or glitter, how you want to do it, that's how you do it from there. That's it. Now, what they'll do is when they do their side-by-side next to each other demonstrations, they'll go, well, this one produces better contrast than this one, of course, because that one has more black paint than that one, so it's common, basic, common sense. Of course, that's going to produce higher contrast than this one, because that's Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, that's Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. The reason why this one's going to produce better than that one, because that has less black paint in it. That's it. Same thing like the rest of them. More or less black paint. That's all it is. That's why when you look at the selection, when you had all of them lined up together, it was just off by a little bit of a tone. That's it. No different than the other. And I guarantee when we get them down here, the Frankenstein, UV mix, all of them, we put them all together, they're all going to react the exact same way. Just one, just a little bit of a margin off from another because one has less black to paint than the other. At the end of the day, they all do the same thing. They pick the white levels up, but they can't see contrast and color because the white levels are way too high. And if you put too much black paint into it, then you're going to end up like the UV mix. They can't see a white level. You can drop all the glitter in the world in that mess, and it's not going to show you anything. And the reason why he can't do these demonstrations, and not at all, because number one, we have way too much light in the environment. The screen wouldn't pick up, but we'd have an issue right from the door. All right, let's go from there. Let's go pick up. So we know once we get all the product here, we already got half the stuff here. Once we get the rest of the product here, it's going to react the same way. Just like you're looking at right now. This is what we're expecting to see. We're not going to see one of the screens blend into this black screen. We're not going to see it. It's not going to produce the same color. Not going to happen. And as for the customer who got the screen painted, I would appreciate if you did a video demonstration of you taking a black sheet of paper, sticking it in the middle of your screen, do a starflow demonstration, and blend into it. Can't do that. But I can have my customers do it. Not going to pick up. You got the color test one here? Yeah, we're right there. That's a color test. There's the white levels popping up. Now, mind you, these are all different shades. They're all going to suffer the exact same fate. They're not going to be able to pull that color. Now, the ones that are pouring a little bit better than others are the ones that have more black paint in them. The ones that are pouring less are the ones that have less black paint. That's how we know exactly when we bring a screen down to test it out what they have in it. When the UV mix came down, we tested it. Because that screen came up so dark, it let me know at the end of the day that the base on that one was different. So instead of starting the base off, because if you did the base at a 1050 or a light screen paint, he would have to drop a lot of black paint in that just to get it to change over to a darker gray. So it'd be a lot of paint wasted. So the best way to do that one is to do it in reverse. So what you would do is you would take the base and make it black or a dark gray, but most likely it'd be a black. And instead of using black paint, you would use white paint to tone it, because you would have to use less white paint. That's how that's done. But the problem is that the majority of the base is black, and that can't pick up or see white levels, and that's why the screen comes up so dark. That's how we know. Now, later in the day, we're going to be doing that demonstration, and we're going to talk about that comparison, because curious why The customer's screen did not look the same way his did in his demonstration. Could it have been the projector? I mean, the screen paint is supposed to be a high quality screen paint. So why was his screen so faded and washed out? And in Crow's basically demonstration, the image was beautiful. At the end of the day, I told you, it's a projector. One of the things that's needed among anybody when it comes to these certified companies, whether it comes to hobbyists that are trying to cut corners, they'll use an expensive projector to make the image look good. Because if it was the paint that was doing all the work, then at the end of the day, that person's screen should have looked much better than what it did. Mind, we're still at 720p. Even at 720p, can't help them. 1080p is not going to help them. Bumping up to a 4K is not going to improve your contrast levels. Screen can't see it, screen can't see it. Now, for those of you who feel that I'm picking on this particular individual, remind me, if you are going to mention my name or my product and make accusations that you can't back up, you have to understand that I'm going to come after your product and I'm going to put you through some very brutal testing. Testing that you're not used to going through and testing our products are used to going through. If your product can do what it's supposed to be to do, as you claim it does, then there should be no reason to cancel out. So in the next couple of weeks, into the next couple of months, I don't want to hear any complaining or carrying on or no emails, none of that nonsense about how everything is so unfair. No, we're going to have all the packages here. Each one's going to be unboxed. You get a chance to see the containers, the labels, the unwrapping, the whole 9 yards, as we always do. You will know that it is his product 100%. We even paint the screen by the same projector your customer had in the demonstration and do the exact same demonstration. Oh yeah, we're going to do the exact same demonstration. Let's go over here. This is why it's a mistake not to go near these screen paints. Again, contrast levels not even picking up. And our screen can maintain its white levels with no problem. In contrast, in color. It's 720p. 260 bucks, 270 bucks a projector. And what would my customers do with all the extra money that they don't have to go out and spend their money for an expensive projector to make the screen look good? I bought myself a movie sofa with motorized reclining and a popcorn machine. So as I'm showing you, it doesn't make a big difference on how many shades of screen paint it is. They're all going to react the same way. Whether it be digital and crystal screen paint, whether it be Crow's products, they all react the same way. That's PPJ silver right there on the other end. Just straight PPJ silver. So we got it from a light mix, we got the mid, we got all these different colors. They all do the same thing. Now, one of the things I did notice that, like I said, when you did the demonstration with the fake Phoenix versus your Frankenstein, did that in the dark. And keep in mind, like I said, that's the only way, because there's no way in the world, even if you made the fake product, even if you did everyday black paint, you still wouldn't be the full contrast level with just the everyday black paint. Your screens don't have the capability. Neither does digital and crystal screen paint. So they have to do those demonstrations in the dark. But like I said, when we have all the products down here, no excuses. No cancellations. Till then, we have these right here to play with. Let's go to this one. So I tell you, contrast is everything. And then today, you don't have to spend a lot of money for your projector. That's what I love about it. Where is the contrast? Nothing's coming up. Nothing. Not a thing. I hope your products don't do this when we get your other products down here. I hope they don't do this. Because this is going to be really, really bad. Now you see why he canceled those orders, right? That's your product right there. That's your product right there. That's mine. That's mine. And that's PPJ right there. Didn't pick up 1 ounce of contrast. Nothing. That projector behind me, again, the contrast isn't all that great. It's 4,000 to 1, and our screen can pick it up with no problem. Well, it's going to be a heart attack. It's going to be a real... See, when you talk a lot of trash and you can't back it up, it is going to be a... That's why it's going through so much to keep us from getting the product down here. Because he talked a lot of trash. And that's going to be... I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure when he saw that Metallica mix pop up on the table, we did that unbox, we popped it open, I'm pretty sure his heart probably sunk right down to his ankles. You're going to have... I would suggest you basically not watch those demonstrations. I would advise you not to. Because you're going to see a lot of your products popping up on that kitchen table. We plan to have all of them pretty soon. So I would suggest you do not watch the demonstrations. But then again, like I said, at the end of the day, you made the accusations. And then right now, we're inside the house. We haven't even gone outside yet. Wow, that's really bad. That's not gonna be good. Kind of hate to do it to you, I really do. You asked for it. You have no choice. You asked for it. As always, here's your label. We're gonna have a collection of these on that table. And I feel bad for you. Before we do the demonstration, we're gonna display your cancellations, showing everybody exactly why you canceled out 12 times. Then we're going to discuss the fact that you banned us for the fact that we bought from you. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. I can still get your products. It's not hard to do to get your products. That's why I got your container right here in my hand. It's not hard to get your products. You can't ban us. You can't stop all of us. So we're going to have your products here one way or another. They're going to be on my table. You're going to have to be to back up everything you said. You see the demonstrations that a Phantom has to go through, the testing. You're going to go through the exact same thing. You can't even pick up here right now. We haven't even begun the testing yet. So instead of basically wasting my time going through one by one, I'm going to blow all your products out in one hit. All your products, one hit. And to be fair, to make sure we do things on a larger screen size, that Cinemax you talk so much trash about, we're going to paint that on a 150-inch screen and put that side by side to a Phoenix outside. And I'm going to give you the better projector. I feel sorry for him. Like I said, it's going to be brutal. It's not going to be good. But this is what happens when people talk trash and can't back it up. And the first example was, if someone's going to come on and talk trash about their product being this, that, and the other, you can't back it up because you cancel all the time. That's the first big mistake. We already know from the door your product doesn't work. But to tell us that we're banned and we can't buy from you, that's not true. We can always get paint from you. It's not a problem. If I was banned and couldn't buy from you, I wouldn't have that container behind me right now. If that was the case. And at the end of the day, what most people are laughing about in our chat lobby is the fact that you're banning me from buying from you due to the fact that I bought paint from you. Because what are the reasons? The guy asked me and said, so what else did he ban you for? Did you curse? Did you carry on? Did you send death threats or whatever? I said, no, he went to a link that he sent to us. We purchased his products multiple times, and he got tired of sending us back the money, got frustrated, and said, oh, you're banned. You can't buy from me. They thought that was the most hilarious thing they ever heard in their entire life. It's sad. But like I said, at the end of the day, just like when you told me that a couple of years back when we were trying to get your product off eBay because you were talking all this trash, and you said that, oh, you're banned from my eBay account, you can't buy from me, you can't get my products. Yeah, I can get your products. They're going to be going through some testing real soon, all this month. The reason why we're going to spread it out because we don't want him, he's going to get paranoid real quick, really, really fast, because he's going to have to try to figure out who's buying and what's buying. So if we show like a huge fluctuation of paint coming through, like orders coming through, he's going to pick up. So we have to spread this out over a period of time. That way he can't figure out what's what. It's a shame it's got to be done this way, but it's the only way. Because in his mind, he's allowed to test everybody else's product and talk trash about it, but he doesn't want anybody testing out his products because they don't work at the end of the day. He can't back it up. But we'll have him down here. Just like when he was talking trash about the Metallica mix and our products, and his Metallica mix beat our screens, whatever dumb nonsense he was talking about. Well, we bought it, came down here, did the demonstrations, and this is what we got. It doesn't work. So now he's claiming that the products he has now, gray screen paint products, do all these crazy things that he claims they can do. Well, we'll get him down here just like we got that. We'll run the same test again. And then we'll see. But already, by the cancellations we have, the amount of cancellations we have received from them, we already know from the door they're not going to be able to perform. Just looking at the color of the paint, they're not going to be able to perform. So we can't say on camera which ones we're going to be buying first. None of that can be told at all, period. Or when it's being bought or anything. because now his radar is going to be through the roof. Isn't that ironic? We had a few people who we had purchased from him when he was on eBay, and he asked them all kinds of questions, all kinds of crazy questions. Do you know so and so and so? You ever bought from him so and so and so? Yeah, that's the reason why I told you that when he had the eBay account, that he didn't have a category. There was no category on any of his products. He would say, email me and let me know what you want. So that way he can screen you and figure out if you're one of us or so and so and so. If you have to go through all that, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. So right there, it just shows you there's something wrong there. There's no way in the world a screen paint of this color is going to be able to produce a contrast level equal to any of these screens. It's not going to happen. And I've seen the demonstrations on the Metallica mix. Those contrast demonstrations were done in the dark. This product was also supposed to be able to make our product so dark you can't see it. That's what he claimed in his demonstrations, but as you can see, not having that problem. This is the darkest mix, darkest formula we make. So how's that possible in your demonstrations using the Metallica mix against our products that you claim that you beat our products? Look at this. So we're just going to repeat the process all over again. This time we're just going to have somebody come in and bring them in, as we did before. We already been through this on eBay. We've got live streams, recordings of us going on eBay, him talking all this trash about this, that, and the other. I said, well, fine, we'll buy your products right now. When they're to go buy them, basically cancel the orders, put the money right back in our account. Then try to raise the price. We got one, you can see where the price is raising, where I got a refund back for like $275 or something like that. You'll see it right there. And then when it got to the point where he couldn't stop us from buying, he removed the eBay listing. So that's a lot to go through when you got something to hide. So like I said, at the end of the day, and I try to explain to him, you may think in your mind that you basically have the upper hand, but it's not. It's actually hurting you really bad. Because I have people call in and talk about you and say, what's wrong with him? Why is he canceling out so much? What is he afraid of? Why do you have so many cancellations on him? Because at the end of the day, you gotta understand what you did to yourself. You gave us an invite to come in and buy. You can't give somebody an invite to come in and buy, and then later on start screaming about harassment and somebody bothering you and so and so and so. It doesn't work that way. That's what you call a classic Karen. That's what that's called. And then you go in and do a fake demonstration, write her name down. It's supposed to be a Phoenix 19. And then you go and you paint this product in, and then you talk all this trash about your product being destroying our product. And we said, fine, you know what? We'll go buy your product. We'll test it out over here. And then you cancel the order. So you're saying that no one can do testing against your product, or the people who do testing against your product have to know you. You must give them pointers on how to test it. Something's not right there. That means your product doesn't work. But like I said, sending me messages telling me that I'm banned. Yeah, that's what you told me the last time, and that's how I got this in my hand. So in the next couple of weeks, you won't know when, but I'm going to have a Cinemax in my hand soon. And I'm going to have all your screen paint products in my hands. And we're going to put them through all the tests that you have failed to do in your demonstrations. And I'm even going to go back and watch some of your old demonstrations, and we're going to repeat those demonstrations to see where you cut corners and where you cheated in your demonstrations. It's going to be a couple months of testing. Just to let you know, this is going to be thorough and by the book. A couple months. It's going to be a rough one, man. It's going to be a real rough one. Now, we're going to go back later on, and I'm going to show you some of the videos he did under this product right here against supposed to be our products, our darker products, how our screens couldn't pull images and they came up too dark. Yeah, same campaign nonsense. Other thing too was a huge red flag. Where's our containers at? You didn't show any of our containers. No labels, no containers, no unboxing. So voila, out of nowhere, you just have a product that's supposed to be ours. You write the name down. That's supposed to be ours. But there's no products, there's no labels, no unwrapping, nothing at all, period. If I'm going to do a demonstration, Crow, on your product, I'm going to show your containers. I'm going to open them up, do the unboxing, just like I do on all demonstrations where we get products from you. That's what we do. So we can show people that we have your stuff, that we're not basically faking any of our demonstrations whatsoever. But if I were to come on and do a demonstration and say, hey, we have this product right here and have some great paint right there and say, oh, that's his right there, and I'm not showing any labels, no containers, no unbox, nothing like that at all whatsoever, then that sounds kind of fishy, buddy. Real fishy. And the reason how we called them on that bluff, for those you don't know, we placed an order for the product. I sat there and said in the live stream, okay, if he wants to do it that way, I'll place an order, we'll bring it down here, and we'll do the testing. If his product beat our product as he claimed it did, he should have no problem letting the order go through. Order was canceled. And then you use the classic Karen by saying, oh, you're banned. You can't buy from us. Well, that's what you said in 2019. And yeah, it worked well, didn't it? That's why we have the unboxing videos to match the products that I have in my hand. We even have your original screen paint that you had in a can before you started using plastic containers. We got a bunch of unboxing videos from Crow. Yeah, that's when he made that statement on the eBay account where he said, oh, you've been banned. I said, okay, no problem. I'll make a phone call. And I had a bunch of, yeah, here's $100. Go buy this for me. The next thing over, it's like, yeah, we just got his product right here. We got his product right here. We got his product right here. Yeah, we can get your product. That's not hard. You're not banning anybody. At the end of the day, you're just going to go through a whole lot of paranoid. That's what you're going to go through. Because every time an order pops up, you're going to have to figure out, is it us or is it basically your fan base? You know, it's even interesting. We've had your product, some of this product we had in here since, I think, 2019. 2019, we had the UV mix and all the rest of it since 2019. So since 2019, we've been using your same product over here on all our screen paints. Every time our screens change and revolve into something new, we use your same old product. And it does the exact same thing on the screen paint we have now, on the screen paint we had then. It did the same thing on the 7. It did the same thing on the 8. It did the same thing on the 12. Your product doesn't change. It just stays the same. It just keeps on washing out. This time, you got to go against the Phantom. Like I said, we're going to give it, I was thinking about giving him a chance, but he's going to play around with it. We're going to give him a chance and saying, look, we'll test all your products at the same time against one screen. One screen versus everything you have. Yes or no? I don't want to hear a maybe, a should be, a could be, a simple yes or no. All your products. I'm even talking about, we're going to get all of them, everything in against that technology right there. Got to admit, that's an invisible. He's not going to take that challenge. Now, keep in mind, if he's not going to accept, but if he does accept, keep in mind, you're going to go through the same testing this screen has to go through. It's not going to be your testing because you don't test your products. Your products are not tested right. You're going to go through under our testing, what we do. And if he doesn't answer back, we buy. We buy everything. But like I said, we have to do it slowly because, like I said, we can't trip any alerts. I know the haters are upset right now. They got to be upset. You got to be upset. You got to be hitting the dislike button like crazy. You better hit the dislike button. Because I'll tell you something. You think, like I said, this thing's a monster. I told you we're developing the ultimate technology. I told you this was going to happen. I told you it was coming. I told you months ago that this was coming. That we were working on a screen that was super, super jet black and can pull insane white levels. We told you this was coming. Now it's here. And I told you, when it gets here at 100%, there's nothing that's going to stand against it. What certified screen could possibly hit this screen? We've done them already. Ultra short throw tests, done them already. We've done them already. So, get this straight. These screen paint products that we have out here can compete with a screen that can blow out that many certified screens. We got companies right now that didn't even want to go near the technology. One of them didn't even want to talk about it. The other one never sent samples. And the rest of them, well, only one canceled out. Now, the rest of the screen paints, I don't care about them. Let them make their money. They mind their own business. I mind my own business. They don't say nothing about me. I don't say nothing about them. Let them make their money. They're good. This one individual got a habit running his mouth all the time. Yeah, when we get done with you, man, I guarantee you, man, no one's going to touch your stuff when we get done with it. And if you lose, like I said, I'm going to re-engineer your stuff. And you know I can do it. I'm going to re-engineer your product. I'm going to put the ingredients on how to make it for free. So don't lose. Every claim you made, you're going to have to back it up. See that white level right there? So mind you, if that black technology can pull white level that high, that means it can pull higher color, and it has that deep contrast level. You can't match it. That's the beautiful thing about the Phantom. It's unmatched. It pulls a white level high enough to be able to go toe to toe with the gray and white screens. It pulls a contrast level so heavy that y'all can't even begin to even pick up. And with that contrast level, it picks up insane deep colors that y'all can't even begin to even dream of. That's what makes it the perfect screen. I looked at Black Diamond's collection. Any screen that comes across this screen that's slightly gray gunmetal won't pass it. This screen's even blacker than black. Now the Phoenix is black. That's how we know that the demonstration was fake, because that product I was looking at was kind of grayish. Phoenix is a black screen. And this screen is 4 times darker than the Phoenix. And yet it can maintain white levels on an astounding level. Like I showed you with the 1000 lumen projector black on black demonstration. Yep, it's our flagship. We don't put the side girl. Yeah. I cannot wait to do those demonstrations. So you I don't know, crow boys, naysayers, what you guys call yourselves? No, I don't know what y'all call yourselves anymore. Get used to some paranoid stuff, because you're gonna be going through some stuff. He's gonna be going through some stuff the next couple of days. Every time we pop a container on that table, he's gonna get more and more paranoid on how we're getting this product over here. Because that's what we went through the last time. Came over here, we got his Pro UV mix, we bought that, we bought something else. What's on here? He was freaking out. Look how dark that is. Now, keep in mind, we're going to basically, I'm going to get the UV mix too again. We're going to get that. We're going to need that also too. We're going to need some more of this, and we need some more of this because we're out. But we're definitely going to get this in because I want to put the UV mix next to the Cinemax. Now, he claimed the Cinemax having a contrast level higher than a Phoenix. It pulls a better contrast level. I wonder how the Cinemax would compare to the UV mix. And if the Frankenstein was able to beat or match the contrast levels of a Phoenix, will the Frankenstein match the contrast levels of a UV mix? See, we're going to actually put your own screen paints against themselves to see how that levels up. Then we're going to get the bare silver screen. I ordered a gallon of that bare silver screen. So that's going to be here shortly. Let's see how your product measures up the bare silver screen. We're going to do a demonstration. We're going to be right on top of the screen, and then we're going to do a demonstration. We're going to stand back at around 13 feet to see if we see a difference. Other than that, you can't match a Phantom or any of our technology in any way whatsoever.
It's hard to relax if you have to DIY. Grab life by the Groupon. The world can wait for what you do.
So at the end of the day, people, gray screen paints are obsolete. That's what they are. And if you feel they're not obsolete, give me a challenge, and I'll match your challenge or outperform your challenge, whatever you want to do against this screen. All right, this is too easy. Doing the white levels is way, way, way too easy. Oh, some Christmas music. Too easy. Too easy. If the white levels pull that high up on the screen, keep in mind, it's going to be to go toe-to-toe with no problem. The only problem is the screen is going to have this. They're not going to be able to pull that contrast and color. It's going to become an issue. I think tonight, I'm going to take your products. I'm going to put it against the, I'm going to do the back for, I didn't start the game yet. I haven't started yet. But I just got the game Back for Blood. Now, that's a heavy contrast game. A lot of those fights are at night. Let's see how that gray screen paint picks up. That's not going to go too well. All right, so let me get these right here. So I got to find the top of this one because I want the whole collection. When we get done, I'm going to have every last one of them. I'm going to make display glass and everything for this with your cancellations over top of them. I'm going to make a whole nice display for you when we're done. Remember, keep in mind, I don't want to hear the Karen. I don't want to hear we're going to call it classic Karen, Crow classic Karen. I don't want to hear the harassment. I don't want to hear crying about, talking about, oh, this. I don't want to hear none of that at all, period. None of it. You wrote the check. I'm going to cash it for you. Just like I did 12 times already, and you canceled. But this time, you can't cancel. You can't get out of this one. This time, we're going to get your products and get them down here, one by one. Ain't no way out of this one. You can cry about somebody being banned, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't make a difference. You talk trash. You can't back it up. I'm going to finish it for you. I mean, as far as it goes, I could take a white screen and take bare silver screen. No, even bare bullseye. Bullseye is a little darker than bare silver screen. I don't need to paint it. I can splash that down the side of a screen and it would match your Metallica mix with no problem. And I know it's in your Cinemax. It's lazy gray. That's the base you're using. Like I said, we used to make your stuff. See how dark my screen is? Wow. That's too easy. Let's go over, let's go here. Oh, this is not going to go well for you. Your Cinemax is going to go through a lot of these demonstrations. I'm just showing him what he's going to go through. This is how bad it's going to be. You better pray that product you're talking all that trash about does what it was supposed to do. But judging by the cancellations we had, we already know it doesn't. But you better pray it does. Like I said, I'm going to put you on a big display. These little sample sheets, these are nice. But I got plenty of room in my backyard to play. You're going on a 150-inch screen. You don't have to order 1 quart at a time. What 2 quarts should do it? Should do it. I'm going to put you on a huge, massive display. We're going to use that as the advertising screen on why you don't want to go near gray screen paint products. We're going to have each one of your products painted right into a strip right down the side of that screen at 150 inches. You can beat our products. You can pass our tests. That's what it comes down to. You should be to pass the test with no problem. It should be easy. Look at that. That's your product, and that's digital and crystal screen paint side by side.
Life's good.
Now I got a friend of mine who does like that commercial advertising videos, like that professional stuff. We're gonna make a special video when we get done. All the tests we've done on your products where they didn't pass, and we're going to use that as an advertising campaign on and offline. And this is marketed toward gray screen. It's not just his products, gray screen paint products altogether. They're not worth the time. If they were, they would be beating my screen right now. Ooh, what am I having for breakfast? Remember the wallpaper surface? That's my screen for my RetroPie. That right there is the same, that poster material you get for protecting your poster, that plastics that comes in between, that's what that is. Got a nice little stiffness to it. It's perfect. I'm going to turn it to my little screen from a RetroPie. Put some Velcro on it and just stick it to the wall. We'll be done. Look at a little black OLED screen up there. Let's see if your screen can see contrast. Here we go. This is a very dark contrast demonstration. Keep in mind in this demonstration, the background must always remain black at all times. This is what the Cinemax is going to be tested on. It must maintain a black image at all times in the background as the screen changes over into color. That's what I love about these particular demonstrations. And this will not be done in the dark. This will be done in a fully lit environment. Partially half of it, the other half will be done outside. You should be able to pull the same image outside as you should inside. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. This one already. I'll go back to this one. Let's see. Oh, let's definitely do this one. Some heavy contrast on this one. It's interesting. My screen's strong points are its contrast levels, but yet I'm constantly in white levels all the time. So, next demonstration we're going to do later on today, knock off projectors. Well, let's see if it'll work on our screen, because I can't, how many emails I receive when people saying, what about this projector? What about that projector? This projector right here? No, it's not going to work. I keep telling you over and over again, we do not support those projectors. So let's show you what happens. We're going to take a 1000 lumen Sony projector, 720p, and put it against the projector that was claiming to be 15,000 lumens 4K. Yeah. Those all the time. Let's go! Let's go, let's go, let's go. Boy, the man. Let's go. What's up, buddy? Don't rub up against that, man. Come on, man. Chill. Rub up against something. Screen. I need that for basic for a demonstration. You just turned it on, man? You know, go press on the projector. Let's go with this right here. We got the microphone hooked to this, and yeah, we do got hooked up to this. So let's say, wait a minute. Let's go with the Star 4K demonstration skyline. Again, here we go. Hey, people. I think I might do an open mic for you Crow Boys when we get this product down here. We'll give you a chance to say yes or no. Do you think it'll beat our screen? And mind you, as this is going on, I plan to have my other camera recording everything that's going on the original first one. So we can use that basically to display that. I want the reaction. That's what I want. I might give me 100. 120 inch will never fit here. There's 126 over there. Now keep in mind, we could easily knock all the products out in one hit. I got 135 upstairs. The screen's been painted on all big screens. We didn't do this on cookie cutter screens. Smallest screen on here is 92 inches, right, which we have right here. 126, 135, 106. Now, if I measure everything just right, I should be able to get a 130-inch tension motorized screen for the deck, because that's what I want. Because I'm giving the customer the other screen right there. Because I want a pretty good sized screen up there. I got 135. I can't go from 135 to 120. That's not going to work. Let's see what we got on here else before I leave out of here. Oh, Crystal Skies timeline. Oh, that's got to be really freaking dark. Oh, let's get this party started. Oh, yeah, you definitely not going to pick up anything on this. I mean, that's a black screen blending those gray screens that well. Look at that. What do you have left? Nothing. Consider the fact that this is digital on a crystal screen paint. If I had stayed on that path and someone that came along with this technology, what could I do to go against them? I can't match the contrast levels. My white levels is pretty much all I would have, and it can pretty much do that right there from the door. I can't match the color on it. What would I have? It can display in fully lit environments. It doesn't require expensive projectors. It's ultra short though compatible. It can be taken outside, and it knocked out multiple certified projection screens. What would I be able to do to take it on? Nothing. See, I can sit there in that seat and watch my own product from 7 years ago versus my own product now, and there is nothing that I could do to compete with that screen right now. That's how you feel right now. I know how you feel. Again, I used to make your product. So if I stayed on that same path and that was my screen paint right there and somebody had popped up with this thing, what could I possibly do? Look at the colors blended into it. But the problem with you is you talked a whole lot of trash. And this screen is going to pretty much deflate you quick. We're not going to do it. We can do it on the Phoenix easy. But I want to use the darkest screen we have. There's no way in the world I would be to compete with this thing. That's the same way I felt when Screen Innovation, when I had that sample sheet in my hand and I put it against my screen. That's the same way I felt. So I know it's going through your head right now. And I know why you have to cancel orders. Because you're going to tell somebody they're banned. What are you banning them for? What did they do that was so wrong? Oh, you banned them because they gave you money? They banned them because they bought from your site when you gave them the link to go buy? Yeah, that doesn't add up, buddy. At the end of the day, you're terrified. Your product does not work. Yeah, I couldn't imagine so, man. I could not imagine so. Look at that. If I saw that now, and I'm looking at my technology right there. That's my technology right there I'm looking at from 7 years ago. There is nowhere in the world I would be able to compete with this screen. I'd be amazed for the simple fact that it's that black and it's pulling a white level that high. So that pretty much eliminates pretty much majority of what my level point that I have on my screen, because it can produce a higher white level because it's gray and whatever. But that screen's doing it right there. So what else would you have left? Contrast? You're not pulling contrast next to this thing. So you don't have that either. Color? Without contrast, you can't pull deep color. Can't do that either. And because the screen can absorb tons of light, it can maintain the fully lit environments like the screen we had over there in the window displaying when sunlight was pushing through with no problem. Where the gray screens can't, because even I knew that when I was developing the screen paint, that I had to have a certain amount of light in the environment because the screen would have issues. So you can't do that either. So where does your product go from there? Like I told you, when we brought the screen to light, I said, make your money, mind your business, or sink your ship before it starts. And your ship's about to get sunk, the entire harbor, when I get done with you. This is not going to be something that's going to go in about a day or two. We're going to take months on this. We have so many levels. Once we get all your products down here, we have so many levels we're going to test this on. And my screen's going to be in there too, because that's going to be the challenge, the fun part. Now let's see how your screen compares to certified screens. We got a whole kitchen drawer full of those bad boys. Interesting. Let's see if there's a difference, because the way your product looks on a P2, what would your product look like on one of these $60 projectors I have sitting on the floor? Would I get the same image on this projector as you're showing in your demonstrations? I never thought about doing that right there. That'd be interesting. We're going to go back and check one of your demonstrations out, play the same video, and we're going to do that on the $60 projector on your screen paint and see if we can pull up the exact same image. That's the price you pay for using over expensive projectors in your demonstrations, because you're over embellishing the truth. That's what you're doing. Convincing your customers that they're going to get the same image when they're actually not going to get the same image. Because in order to do so, they'll have to spend about $3,000 to $4,000 to acquire the exact same projector that you're using in your demonstrations. By telling them that they can calibrate the projector to get the exact same image, it's completely false. If that's the case, then that means with the product we have here, we should be able to pull off the exact same image as you did in your demonstration, correct? Now, a little too much for you to do. Should I broke it down for you, slow it down a little bit for you? Where my demonstrations, anybody can do anything. Have my demonstrations, my screens look absolutely incredible on our projectors. And at the end of the day, somebody can look at it like, huh, that's what you're using for a projector? Really? Do you have any idea how old that projector is back there that's doing the demonstrations right now? How old that is? When I tell people like, oh, you got 4K in there, it's like, no, that's a relic, man. We got an old projector with discontinued since 2014. Paid like $270 for it. That's it. Any projector is better than that. Literally, you can go in and get that's a 720p projector I'm using right now. So basic 1080p is better than that thing. So if someone comes in and they want to improve their picture quality, I heard people come to, oh, we got this and that, so yeah, projector's way outside of what I had in my demonstrations. Yeah, but in your demonstrations, no. Someone who's going to pay, saving them hundreds. At the end of the day, if they're spending a 107 for a screen paint, that 107 screen paint, it's not going to look the same way on their projector because they don't have the same projector that you have. Did you think about that one when you started doing the demonstrations? Yeah. But the projector I have behind me right now, somebody can go and get one of the Epsons. They can get a P2, and that thing would basically outperform my projector behind me. But the difference between that is a P2 on your screen looks like and a P2 on my screen looks like yeah, because I can do things that your screen can't do. Even with a 2 million to 1 contrast ratio, you still can't pick up a contrast level. You kind of remind me of that retro TV show, Greatest American Hero. Anybody remember that? But the guy about the aliens came down, the world was destroyed, and they knew Earth was going to be destined for the same destruction. So they chose one particular individual to get this special suit to give him the ability to be able to save the world. But the crazy thing about it is he lost the instructions on how to use the suit and couldn't figure out how to land or whatever, so he had to kind of wing the whole entire thing. Yeah, you kind of remind me of that kind of scenario right there. Like all that power in that projector, and it'll never get used correctly because pretty much like you lost the manual with it when you used it with your screen paint. Waste of piece of machinery. Well, people, that's pretty much it. At the end of the day, now you can see, like I said, live demonstration, no mirrors or whatever, no special powers, no mind control, whatever they say I got now. No calibrated projectors, just fully lit environment, showing you exactly why screen paints are a waste of your time and money. If you want to go out and wreck your screen like that, go ahead and knock yourself out. And if you're going to do it, you might as well just basically just pay for it for cheaper. As I told you before, I gave you the ingredients on how to make a better version of a screen paint than his product. As I said before, I mean, like I said, you don't want to go with, at the end of the day, a bare 1050. You don't want to go with silver screen because it's a dull base. That's why. You want to go with PPJ, which has a little bit more silver and a little bit more to it. That's what you want. If you're going to go down that road, this is what you want. I mean, hey, I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't pay for it, especially much as the product is this old. It's an old product. There's no way you should be paying that kind of money for something that's been out since 7 years ago and hasn't shown any improvement. Mind you, like I said, look at the two screens there together. Crow's Metallica mix, Digital One Crystal screen paint. 7 years ago, selling it now. There you go. So if you're going to do it that way, like I said, simple and plain, 2 ingredients, black paint, PPJ, M&M. This is your base, and use the other one as a toner. That's it. Don't add no silver to it. Don't add any gold into it. Definitely don't add gold into it because you'll get the Christmas tree effect. And if he's sitting there telling you, well, you know, you're not going to be able to get this image. No, you're not. You still can't get the image if you don't own the projector at the end of the day. You're not going to get the same image because if that was the case, the customer showed up the leisure projector. It wouldn't have made the difference. The screen was doing all the work. It wouldn't have made a difference what projector the customer would have had. So how come the image does not look the same way in his demonstration as it does look in Crow's demonstration at the end of the day? Because he doesn't have a $4,000 projector. That's why. There you go. That's why in the demonstration, if you noticed, if you watched it correctly, it was washed out, faded. Disney movies, when they show them, they're oversaturated with a lot of color. And for that boy's red hair to be washed out like that, everything was just blending in. The dog didn't even come up blue. He was walking around in the trench coat. I've seen that scene. And he chose the lobby, which is the most well-lit part of the movie, because if he chose any other areas, they would have came up too dark and the screen would have washed out even more. So he had to pick and choose what scene he had to show in that demonstration. And of course, as always, it was quick and fast. There were no contrast demonstrations, no comparisons, nothing at all whatsoever. Just a little demonstration with a little bit of light with the lobby scene, and that's it. Camera moving back and forth, that's all. Yeah, okay. I'm done from here. I'm gonna go here and I can't even play the game today. I'll have to wait till later on. I forgot. I gotta basically send my friend a copy so she can play. Yes, I'm playing this tonight. You can't even pull up my freaking PS4 dashboard. It's black. Can you pull it up? No. Digital One Crystal screen paint. Oh, I love looking at this right here. This is amazing. Like literally 27 years ago. That's my product. I didn't think I would remember. Yeah, of course it would have been easier to make it. Just memorize how it's made. I said, look at that. Side by side. Digital One Crystal screen paint 7 years ago. Crow's Metallica mix. Now that's the one he got caught busted on camera making that he deleted off his channel. That's when he got caught. We caught him on that one. And now for some reason he doesn't sell it anymore. But I guarantee, oh, I forgot about that too. We got to do the black and white mix. So when your products get down here, we're going to do the black and white mix. We're going to watch the video, do the tutorial video, make the black and white mix, see how many of them come up close to the black and white mix by themselves. We have to do that one too. Hmm. Hmm. I think I have one downstairs. Oh, I do have one downstairs. Hold on for a minute. Get around this poster real quick. I'll take this over here. So I got tons of these screens around the house. Is that weird or what? You can still see my screen right through. That's pretty cool. But you can see the white screen on the other end. Wait. Is it transferring? No, that's the white screen. For a minute, kind of weird. I thought it was transferring through. Like, wait a minute. Because the bottom. That's why. This is a 150-inch screen. I got this for 48 bucks. That's it. $48. I got a 250-inch downstairs, which I haven't got around to painting yet. But I got these as backups. That's the contrast level right there on the white screen versus our black screen. Now, 7 years old, right there. That's 7 years old. Digital and Crystal screen paint, and next to that will be Crow's screen paint now. This is how we know how your product's made. That's a black and white base in that product right there in the Digital and Crystal screen paint. This is your UV mix. I can't see white light. I don't know why, but it's weird. I can't. This is how I'm gonna test your products. This is what I'm showing him, what our screens have to go through. When we do this screen, this is the white screen that we had the black Phoenix that's coming up and down on the motorized projection screen. So that's the test we do on the screens. We bring the motorized down, we see exactly where the white levels lay at. That's how we test our screens. You don't test your screens on a white screen, especially the darker ones. That's your UV mix right there. one of the certified screens tests you're going to go through. So bottom line is we take your screen, put it against a white screen, and we put certified screens up there. Now, as I told you before, certified screens, much like this, being the daylight screen, they have a reflective surface which allows the screen to be able to see white light. Even as dark as this is going to put up a much better, lighter image than the product here. Because this has something that to be able to activate and see white light, where this product, on the other hand, doesn't have that capability. That means, bottom line, is probably using a more of a black substance than a white substance, because white's going to see more light, and that right there is going to pick up a much darker white level next to this, because this can see white light and that can't. At the day, this is something special. That's black and white paint. See, told you. That's how I know your product is black and white paint. That right there is daylight screen, parallax. I know I butchered the name out of it. See, those screens right there, even though they're dark, they know their white levels are going to drop. So what they do is they put a reflective surface on it, and the reflective surface allows the screen to see more white light. The only problem with that, sometimes it can cause narrow viewing cone. Sometimes it may not work with ultra short throw projectors, and other issues may be having that it may generate too much white light, where basically the screen is basically going to produce much lower colors and contrast levels. But basically, keep in mind, they're not demonstrating their technology against us, more like a white screen. So they had to do it just show an improvement over their technology over a white screen, because the majority of most people, they're going to be using this for school and industries and businesses and whatever and so forth, are going to have white screens. So that's where their playground is at. So you can see right there, if he did a proper demonstration, this particular product right here, being as dark as it is, because what he's going to do, what Crow does is, Crow takes this light screen and puts it against a dark screen, because the light screen is going to be to pull higher white levels, but he'll skip the contrast levels, knowing that the darker screen is going to have the advantage point. That's something he won't show at all. He'll keep that away because he doesn't want people to see that his screen basically has problems with picking up contrast levels. Now, if you're going to do a demonstration against this particular screen right here, not only you have to show white levels, you have to show colors, and you have to show contrast. Something we do in our demonstrations, we don't skip anything. Now, if you did this demonstration, dark screen versus dark screen, that's how you should be doing it. Only time we do light screens to show our screens can pull higher white levels or high white levels versus lighter gray screens. But if we're doing contrast to contrast, with screen after screen, we're going to show our white levels, which we did in the demonstration with the side-by-side here and here at 1,000 lumens, 4,000 lumens, and 5,000 lumens, showing that our screen can pull a higher white level than any black surface. Did you get any of that, Crow? Of course you probably didn't, because you don't do your tests right. But next to a $5,000 projection screen, this is how your screen paint product will come up. Now, if I stick this screen against my blackest screen, my screen can blend into that screen with no problem. But your product can't do it. Because at the end of the day, I know what gives this screen the ability to see white light. At the end of the day, your product, I know what's in it too. Now, if we were to switch this over to a contrast level.
No one would have expected 2020 to go out of nowhere. The world just
now, see how the contrast level comes in heavier on his screen paint than it does on that screen? That also indicates that his screen is pulling too high of a contrast level. There has to be a balance in there. That's why the white levels are not coming up. That's why when he does a demonstration on his product, you will notice that he only does demonstrations that involves heavier contrast levels. He doesn't do snow white levels because the screen won't be to pick it up. There's an all-white screensaver. So that's pulling the highest white level. That's a dark gunmetal screen, and that's how high the white levels are coming up on that screen. compared to this one, or this one. And mind you, that's Digital One Crystal Screen Paint right there. I'm watching you trying to chase your own tail. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. See the problem we have here? The contrast levels are way too heavy. So this screen is actually picking up contrast and white levels at the same time. See how dirty the flower came up here on his product? And look how beautiful and bright the flower came up on here on the $5,000 projection screen compared to his product. Let's go over to and meanwhile, while we're doing the demonstration, as you can see, this right here is Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, and this right here is Crow's Mix right there. 7 years old, trying to claim it as something new. Look how dark the hair came up here. Look how bright it is there. And see how my product right here. Now, mind you, this is a gray screen right here. Look how it's blended into that one right there. Not showing a good picture. Don't get me wrong. It's not showing a good picture at all. Let's go over to go. That's how dark the UV comes up. It's really bad. It's really bad. This right here is the Dark Star 9. And Dark Star 9, I don't know who has a higher white level. These are the two darkest screens I have right now in my arsenal right now, which would be the Dark Star 9. You claimed you beat the Dark Star 9. I don't think you did. That's the Dark Star 9. That's how high the white levels are on a Dark Star 9. It's the reason why that screen cost $3 grand. Now mind, that's a Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, and that's Crow's product right there. You claim you beat this screen. You didn't beat that screen. You know how dark a Dark Star 9 is? That's how dark a Dark Star 9 is. That's how dark they are. The screen has a 0.9 gain attached to it. This is how your products are going to be tested. This is how we test ours. Just give me a little heads up. This is what you're going to go through. It's going to be nothing easy for you. And you seen me do this, people, with 18 certified screens. We only got 2 up here. You seen me do this with 18 certified screens. We put them up one by one, bam, 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 all the way across the screen. We start off with white levels. We start off with colors. We go into contrast, and then we do the mix. So if I could do 18 of these with no problem, and including 4 ultra short throws on ultra short throw projectors, you can't even pass 2 of them. How's your product anywhere close to mine? I don't know how in the way you're saving people hundreds. That is really bad. The fact that your white levels are coming up that bad. Keep in mind, mine's right there too. So I already know. Automatically, I'm not giving mine any credit. Mine's a 7-year-old product. Mine's an old product, an old product. So I know basically, compared to this right here, no, I wouldn't have a chance. But he's claimed he's beat this screen before. You didn't beat this screen in any way whatsoever. You can't even pick up the white levels correctly. You're picking up the same white levels my 7-year-old product is picking up. So you definitely didn't do that demonstration correctly. I'm going to go back and find your demonstration where you did against the Dark Star 9. And when we have your screen paint here, we can pick out which one we want that matches your demonstration and do it all over again. Except for do it the right way. No cutting, no corners. Huge difference here between here and here. Huge difference. And the Dark Star 9, look how, not the Dark Star 9, look at the UV mix. Look how dirty the UV mix is coming up. Well, that's just downright awful. Yeah, if I had stayed in there with, oh my God, I could see. Look at this. Look how bad that looks. I mean, like I said, back then, this was 7 years ago. It was a different time. But now, no, you shouldn't have a product that looks like this. Not from something from 7 years ago. That's why I told you at the end of the day, it's not even worth $50. Look at this right here. Look at that. See how beautiful that image looks? This is pulling a much better image than this one right here. But this one right here, these two right here are matching. But look, to compare to that and this right here all together, like you, where? I told you, look at that. That is horrible. Don't do gray screen paint products, boy. I'm telling you, untested gray screen paint products. And yes, I can call my digital and crystal screen paint untested because, like I said, at 7 years ago, you didn't really have to do this test. It was just basically take the screen. As long as you had a lamp in the room to show some light in there, it was considered to be a massive improvement because back then, every demonstration was done in the dark. So it was no demonstrations of someone showing off any light in the environment. But now, with ambient light rejection technology, what we have now, your screen should never be looking like that bad. Oh, that is absolutely horrifying. This is how I know we didn't test that product on oh. Yeah, buddy, you're the last person that needs to be talking about, I don't even know what, yeah, when your product gets here, boy, I'm telling you, boy, you're going to go through some stuff. This is the stuff we have now that's really bad. Your UV is not picking up nothing. Look how dark that's coming up. That's not picking up anything. That's right next to a certified screen. And I told you from the door that the digital crystal screen paint is old. It's an old technology. It's not going to be able to do nothing that these high-end screens can do. No way in the world. That shows you at the end of the day, if these two screens are matching, this is from 7 years back, and this is supposed to be a product he sells now, and these two screens are matching, it just shows you how old his product is compared to these newer screens right here. And these screens are dark. I showed you these are very dark screens, and they can still maintain the white levels. Look how dark they are here. And this is absolutely horrible right there. I think he did that just to be to show if he can do a contrast. His screen can do a contrast level. But you didn't do anything with your white levels at all. Oh, my goodness. That is horrible. Jamie, what were you thinking? I got to say it. What was you thinking? I can see why you canceled your UV mix. We ordered the UV mix from him. He's canceled every screen paint that we basically try to purchase from him. And I can see why. The stuff you had down here doesn't work. And we got this against certified screens and it's not even picking up. Look how close that comes to the Digital One crystal screen paint. Oh my goodness, man. You didn't do any testing at all. Nothing. It looks the same as my 7-year product. So let me get this straight. How in the world that you call yourself being able to match a Phoenix and you can't even match a freaking white screen? You can't even match these screens. These screens are gunmetal. They're dark gunmetal screens. They're actually darker. Well, they're not darker than the Phoenix, but they're darker than your Frankenstein. And the UV mix is darker than Frankenstein. And it can't even pull. Wow, that's no testing done. I'm gonna let this play through. Y'all figure it out. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. No testing. We didn't really testing at all. You just threw whatever you could together, made the product. That's it. That's horrible. This is what you crow boys support. That's sad. Let's pull up a color test. Keep checking out. Wham! UV's not picking up nothing. I told you can't pick up anything. It's not picking up nothing. Contrast level is way too high. All right, so I'm gonna go upstairs and start making my list on. A matter of fact, I'm gonna list all the screen paints we want, and then that way I can send them out to my people so they can go pick them up. And then we can pretty much we'll spread it out what we get there. I'm not gonna tell you on camera what we're ordering. I'm not gonna say anything at all. Period. I'm gonna do my demonstrations like I've been doing them. I'm not going to say a word until we get them all of them here. Then we'll do the unboxing, and then we're good to go from there. And then we can start the test. Because the ones we have here, oh my goodness. We didn't do any testing. No testing at all. I can see you didn't do any testing at all. How you matching a 7-year-old screen paint? Look at the UV. Look how bad the UV looks. That's a dark star. That's a dark star now right there, over top. That's Daylight's new screen. that. Look how bad that looks, man. You didn't even test that properly. It's UV mix right there. Cross UV. I'm gonna show you labels. That's what you're supposed to do. Make sure we got your product. That's your UV mix right there. That's how dark it comes up. That's your Metallica mix right there. And that's Digital One Crystal Screen Paint right next to it. A 7-year-old screen paint that's matching your product. So apparently I can show that he didn't do any proper tests. My goodness. Oh, that's so bad. That's really freaking bad. Yeah, we're gonna have to do all your tests all over again. All your demonstrations are gonna have to be done one by one, all over again. Oh, I got something. Beautiful, relaxing butterflies. We need to bring up the snow dogs.
What are the unknown stories behind someone's eyes? What are the struggles?
Now keep in mind, if you're going to have a dark screen, you're going to expect, again, white levels to drop, but they're never supposed to look that low. Even this right here is low. They're supposed to be in the range of here and here. This is where they're supposed to be at, but never like this. This is horrible. And I'm talking about my own Digital One Crystal Screen Paint too. It's all horrible. But that is the worst I've ever seen. And that shows right there, it has no ability to read any kind of white light. Look how dirty that's coming up. We're going to order another batch of your UV mix too, because I don't have any more left. I need some more for testing. Also too, you won't be able to change it, because like I said, even if he changes the design or anything, we'll know. If it's lighter than what it is right here, like say he comes out and he goes, you got to watch this guy, he's pretty slick. So maybe he may come out and say, no, I'm going to change UV mix. I'm going to have a new improved UV mix. If that thing is lighter than what we have in that container over there, we automatically know that you did it on purpose to basically have your product not come up too dark. So I'm announcing all this ahead of time, just in case if this ever pops into your head. That is actually horrible. These right here are fantastic right here. These right here are fantastic. That's it. Ew. Now you notice when we had this screen laying against ours, we could blend into this screen with no problem. You can't even blend in with your mix into this white screen, because that shows that it's black and white paint. Pick up a certain level in white levels when it comes to your screen. It's one of the requirements when you have dark technology, but it can't be on a level where it's that dark. Here we go. Now you see how dark and dirty his screen came up? You have to have a certain white level. It can't come up that dark. That's why I told you. This product right here is black and white paint. Thing came up so black, like I had a piece, like somebody put it, like literally somebody painted black paint, literally with no heightener technology, just black to my screen. But look at that. Look how white our levels are coming up next to this. Now they're not going to be to match these screens, but like I say, look how the white levels are coming up. But you see how the UV mix came up dark and dirty. Yeah, that UV mix is nasty. Yeah. Told you. UV mix is dirty. Very, very, very dirty. I told you. Comes up dirty. This don't work. White screen. And mind, the screen I used on the floor has a 2.0. That's a 0.9 white screen. You see how dark that UV mist came out, how dirty it came up, unwatchable? There you go. So let's just give him a little idea what's going to happen in the next couple of months, the next couple of weeks when we get your products down here. This is the kind of testing your product's going to be going through. Like, it's going to be pretty bad for you. I kind of feel a little sorry for you. You're not going to pass. If your stuff we have down here right now is not passing too well, I automatically know just by looking at your products in your YouTube video, I know how they're made. I know how they're going to react when we get them down here. They're not going to do well. The Frankenstein is going to do horrible in white levels. It's going to come close to probably the UV mix. I don't think you did any demonstrations on it either, but we'll get all those covered. We'll get everything covered. And then at the end, we'll just put you against the Phantom, watch the Phantom destroy your screen, and we're done. Like I showed you, and I told you before, when he did the demonstration against the Darkstar 9, I told you he didn't beat that screen. No way in the world. You know how powerful Darkstar 9 technology is? It's actually extremely good. So he didn't beat that screen in no way whatsoever. That's why when I showed you the digital one and the digital one screen paint and the Metallica mix side by side, they were doing both the same thing. A 7-year-old product from 7 years ago and a product trying to claim it's doing something different now. No, it does the exact same thing. If it did anything different at all, like I said, the customer's demonstration would have showed a completely different image. It would show the exact same image that he was showing on the demonstration on his P4. Same thing, or a P2, I think P2 or P2, yeah, P2, yeah. It would show the exact same thing, but it didn't. The image came up faded, came up washed up, had that tannish around the edges, just like they usually all do. Same thing. You have to have a high-end projector in order to get the image to pop where you need it to be at. That's all. So he needs the projector, because without the projector, that's going to look like crap. All right, well, with that being said, we're done here. And as for Jamie, we look forward to doing a lot of testing the next couple months. With that being said, thank you for your time. Got to go, and God bless.